Hey, what's up guys? ChillaDeX here, welcome back to more Fate Stay Night, Real to Know Heaven's Feel. Last time, we left off having traversed Ilias Forest. We saw Berserker get swallowed up by the Black Shadow, and Saber's back. Sort of, kind of, well. What? A Saber, but not quite Saber. I've mentioned before, but I was sort of spoiled for a little bit of Heaven's Feel. I believe that's like called Saber Altar. So that's interesting. And oh yeah, we lost our arm and Arch was dying, so he gave up his arm to like make us whole again, which was awfully kind of him. And yeah, now I think we're in an interlude with Kirei, I believe. The guests have left. The chapel regains its silence, and the priest looks up at the statue.
いいのか、聖杯を逃して。
The voice comes from behind. Where was he hiding? The golden-haired man asks the priest cheerfully.
構わん。初めから執着があったわけではない。聖杯が彼らにつくのなら止めはしない。
そうだったな。もとより私に望みはない。その言が偽りでないのなら、聖杯を押し止めるのは道理に合わん。
The man laughs. The priest's words, as if to make fun of the fact that he has no wish. He does indeed speak the truth. It is just that the golden-haired man cannot comprehend the fact, but the priest has no wish. Kotomini Kirei does not need the power of the Holy Grail. All he has is a thorough inquiry. The Holy Grail merely answers one's wish. It is a machine to create the desired outcome for one's own question. Is there a meaning in obtaining the answer that one wishes for?
ことみの、重ねて問うが、本当に聖杯に興味はないと？
願望期に用はない。それはお前とて同じだろう、ギルガメッシュ。お前の目的も私の目的も、その実自らの願いではない。単にそうした方が楽しいからという快楽追求でしかない。
Kire's spitting facts right now.
そのようなものは食事と同じだ。願いとは自身を叶えるもの。だが自ら願いを叶えては人間は救われん。
The priest keeps staring up at the statue. And beyond it. To 10 years in the past, when he still had a wish. Huh. The man is a child his father was gifted with on a pilgrimage in 1967. The man is a child... Okay. The name Kirei is supposedly a word of a prayer. The father named his son in the hope he would be pure and beautiful. Yeah, that didn't really work out for your father, did it? The boy grew up according to his expectations. Even as a young child, he had morals and good sense, showing such great insight that people thought he was precocious. The father was delighted to be blessed with a great successor, and the son knew of his father's delight. It is a great pleasure for a parent to know his child is gifted. That must have been why the man considered him valuable. Understanding this, the boy grew just as his father expected. There was no doubt. His inability to love his father was unrelated to meeting the man's expectations. The boy named Kirei grew up healthy. But there was one point. He could not understand the beauty of which his father spoke. One morning, he realized the inconsistency. He woke up, raised his head, and he knew. He was not sure why he understood at that moment. No. He wondered why it took him so long to realize. In either case, he knew what he had forgotten. His father prayed for him to be beautiful and named him Kirei. That had always been his question. The things his father considered beautiful, the boy had never considered it beautiful. It was as simple as that. He considered moths beautiful instead of butterflies. Okay. He considered poisonous plants beautiful instead of roses. Okay. He considered the evil beautiful instead of the good. That's not okay. that's not daijobu. He had a common man's sense of morality, recognizing that it is correct to be good. But by his nature, the boy was only interested in the exact opposite. Nobody can understand the agony he felt. Even Kotomini himself was never certain whether it was agony or not. But he worked hard. He tried to be pure and beautiful, and pursued something he did not have from the start. Shaving away the skin, ripping off the flesh, and dislocating the bones. He even tried looking within his body for what he could not find in his mind. His father spent over 10 years on his pilgrimage, wearing thorned shoes. Ow! The distance he walked could stretch to the moon. It was not for physical pain. For missionaries, the mental pain is far more significant. The boy abstained from eating during their pious act. If he was a sinner by nature, then according to the morals he believed in, he needed to punish himself to maintain balance in the world. 10 years passed. Unable to reach the epiphany he sought, he arrived at a single conclusion in its place. It was simple. In short, he didn't have the sense to feel normal happiness. Good matters that people consider right and find happiness in. Philanthropy, trust, glory, safety. Such matters did not delight him, and it's just that he was born with the deficiency. All he took pleasure in was the suffering of others. It makes sense, yeah. Murder by others, love and hatred of others, degradation of others. Such negative concepts were the only thing that made him feel happiness. His misfortune was carrying a sense of morality, even when he had such a mind. The child understood at a young age that he was not in accord with the world, and he tried his best to overcome it. He did not surrender to his condition by indulging in twisted pleasure. He tried to save himself, one who could not find happiness in any normal way, by turning himself into a normal person. And the path was his creed, to become a priest and preach life like his father. It is said that God forgives everything. So he thought God would even save someone who was not born with it, like himself. But the result was tragic. He abode by the rules of God, followed the law, and lived modestly, but it could not find any pleasure greater than the pain of others. Kirei, you have a problem. He believed in the church's teaching that forbade immorality, yet immorality was all he had. But there was no anguish there. From the beginning, he sought after something that didn't exist. He did not lose something he had, so there was no reason for him to grieve. The only thing that concerned the priest as he matured was the question, why? Yes, at every crossroads of his life, the pleasure of committing crimes, one could understand if he reveled in his own corruption, satisfying his urges by committing crimes himself. Wealth gained from evil deeds. It would make sense if he entrapped others out of greed and obtained wealth. But what was wrong with him to not even have the option of turning from good to evil? Who could possibly be born a defective being and end his life still detached from the world? Do they not come into this world with the premise that they harm the world? Call of good sense, acknowledgement of morals, trial of justice. Every one of these conclude that evil shouldn't exist. But what about it? If it should not exist, why are such things created? That's right. If one has a deficiency, one shouldn't be born. Okay. You're getting very Spartan on me, Kirei. The world hates evil and removes the faults. But something that was never wanted was given life. There are beings that exist to be hated and die. The man inquired where the crime was. His reward for years of anguish and blind devotion was not salvation. Just why? It is a pure question, and also anger towards something unknown.
では、なぜマスターになどなった？望みがないのであらば、聖杯などいらぬだろうに。
That's a good point, Gilgi. The inquiring words bring him back to the present. The priest, Kodamine Kirei, nods in self-derision.
聖杯はいらなかった。ただその中身に関心があっただけだ。10年前聖杯を求めたのも、それがあろうとしたからだ。聖杯が何であれ、生まれ出ようとする者を祝福する。それが私の仕事だからな。
I mean... I guess?
それは生まれてくるものに微塵の関心も持たなくともか？
無論だ。前回の聖杯戦争でさえ、私は聖杯にもその中身にも関心はなかった。あの時にあったものは、私と正反対の男に対する不快感だけだった。
Kiritsugu? I think? But the priest ponders. He can only find pleasure in others' suffering, but he's interested in the end of this Holy Grail war. Zoken's actions behind the scenes. Another Holy Grail that's about to be born. Someone called all evils of this world was brought into existence by the people, but not wanted by the people. If it would conceive such a thing, maybe that is...
善悪の所在。殻に詰め込まれながら帰ることのなかったもの。
The Holy Grail cannot give answers. The wish-granting machine fulfills its owner's desire. So no revelation can be obtained, even if someone without a wish obtains it.
答えを出すのではなく、答えを出せるものを聖杯から生み落とすとしたらどうなる？
Like what?
何？
The man narrows his eyes. The priest is smiling in front of the statue.
ことみね。
That smile is that of a dying woman. That expression is worn by a man with no interest or desire.
答えは近い。仮にこの疑問が神を冒涜するというのなら。
His eyes aren't showing joy. The priest, like an angel that fell to the ground,
神前においてこの前例をかけ我が主さえ問い殺そう。
Good for you, I guess? Looks up at the distant sky with cursing eyes. Okay. Well,